Test. Okay, good evening, everybody. I will now call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is quorum. Madam CAO, do we have quorum?
We do have quorum.
Just, but yes. Okay. Next, declaration of conflicts of interest. Does anybody have any conflicts to declare with this agenda? Okay, adoption of the agenda. So I will note on this agenda, 11A, the presentation by the NBSPCA has been postponed. So that topic will not be addressed on this agenda this evening. Do I have a mover to adopt the agenda in its current form? Moved by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda for tonight's meeting, show your consent by saying yes. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Next item is the adoption of the minutes for the April 15th regular meeting as presented. Do I have a mover to adopt the minutes in their current form? Moved by Councillor Savoie. Do I have a seconder? Second. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the April 15th minutes as presented, show your consent by saying yes. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Do we have any questions from the public?
Actually, before we move on, if there's a second set of minutes,
Okay.
if council would like to approve those from May 1st.
Okay. Okay, do I have a mover to approve the May 1st minutes? Moved by Councillor Martin. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Savoie. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the May 1st minute, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so the next item was questions from the public, and we did not have any.
We do not.
Okay, so we'll move on to petition, request, or delegation. I see we have none there either. Next is council member reports. We'll start with Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Red means go.
Unfortunately, I don't have any comment at all, so I'll pass that along.
Okay, next we'll have Councillor Martin.
Firstly, I think everyone knows we're in the middle of pothole season. I'd like to remind everyone that the province of New Brunswick, DTI, takes care of the roadways and brush cutting. To contact them and either their phone number or their email, which can be found online if you Google DTI, and go through that route there. We'll be more than happy to help on your behalf and a lot of those requests in. As well, we all know all the ATV trails and that have been opening up and continue to open more and more on landowners' property, and just like to ask that everyone respect the landowners themselves and their properties, whether they choose to open or close them. And on top of that, there are a few events coming up in the area. Bloom Festival, that's coming up, as well as we could always use a couple extra hands away putting the rink away. And if there is anyone interested in helping set up a potential farmers market, that is it.
Thank you. Councillor Savoie.
I have no report to present today, as participating in a meeting tomorrow, which I'd like to include in my report, so I'll send that one in.
Okay, thank you. All right, so my turn. So just a few updates. Our municipal emergency planning is underway. We do have 6 members of the public who have agreed to sit on the committee. I did not explain this properly because I was asking people before I completed the last training that we did. There will actually be 2 committees. So if you've agreed to sit on one and would like to sit on the other, you're welcome to do so. If you haven't put your name forward, like I said, there'll be 2 committees, so we'll have room for anybody who's interested. So if anyone is interested, they can email info@maplehills.ca. At our last public safety meeting, we learned that Sergeant Belanger will be assigned to Caledonia, so our contact, until September 1st at least. So that's good news. We weren't sure how long we'd have him or who might be coming, so we had at least have some consistency for a little while. The RSC followed up with the province on cell and internet coverage. The province is doing a targeted infrastructure project later this year. Areas are to be shared with the Public Safety Committee. Once that's done, the committee will decide if the Southeast region is well recognized within that data, and if it is not, it's possible that we will do our own study to provide them data to suggest that we need more coverage than they have shown in their report, so more to come on that. Public Safety Committee also passed a motion to obtain quotes for a black cat. A black cat is a traffic counter, and the idea is for it to be shared with all of the municipalities in the Southeast region. Some municipalities have their own. Moncton and Dieppe have them. They use it for data collection to decide speed limits, where they need signs. In our case, if we had a road that maybe we were trying to get some repairs done, the traffic counter could sort of help the province understand what the traffic flow is on that road to maybe push it along a little further. So it does sound like it would be a valuable tool to have access to. We also learned at public safety meeting that Tri-County Ground Search and Rescue has had 12 activations already this year. So just as an FYI, we had them in last year. Just to give you an idea, that meeting was at the 1st of May, so in 4 months, they had 12 activations already above and beyond their training. So shout out to them, but just as awareness to everyone else. Shout out to TH Sports for putting on a fantastic awards banquet on April 17th for their athletes. The gym looked awesome and there were lots of smiling kids there. And finally, this came up at our town hall, but anybody that missed it, Urban Rural Rides is looking for volunteers. If anybody would be interested in volunteering, their number is 506-962-3073. I will type that for you. I won't give you that mess. Okay. So on to bylaws, motions, and resolutions. The first item, as I said at the start of the meeting, was the MBSPCA, and that will be rescheduled. So the next item is dangerous and unsightly premises bylaw. Oh. There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so I had provided a sample bylaw for council to consider. So just to give a little bit of background on this bylaw, I took part in a municipal management training program. This was the subject of it a few months back. And whereas council's aware that we follow the Local Governance Act along with other acts and their regulations. So if we were to adopt what's currently in the act under dangerous and unsightly, it would avoid council having to continuously upgrade the bylaw as things in the act change. So it was recommended that unless there's things that council want to include above and beyond what's in the act, we would just simply cite the sections that are in the act. So if there's, word changes, we don't have to go through and do the entire 3 readings again to amend the bylaw. So this is just my recommendation for council. And if you're ready, we could go through with the first and second reading by title of the draft bylaw A09.
So I think, guys, when we reviewed this bylaw before, we actually were more inclined to ask if we were allowed to take anything out of it, not put stuff in it. So is everybody okay with us proceeding with the first read since we wanted less, not more? I don't think we want to add? Okay. So do I have a mover to proceed with the first reading of the bylaw? Okay. Oh, Councilor Martin.
I move that we proceed with the first reading by title of bylaw A-09, a bylaw of the local government of Maple Hills relating to dangerous or unsightly premises.
Okay, do I have a seconder on that motion? seconded by Councillor Savoie. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of first reading by title of bylaw A-09, a bylaw of the local government of Maple Hills, show your consent by saying yes. Yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Okay, so I will simply read it by title. Bylaw A-09, dangerous or unsightly premises, a bylaw of the local government of Maple Hills relating to dangerous or unsightly premises.
Okay, do we have a mover to proceed with the second reading by title? Moved by Councillor Savoie,
I move that we proceed with the second reading of title, reading by title of bylaw A-09, a bylaw of the local government of Maple Hills relating to the dangerous and unsightly premises.
do I have a seconder on that motion? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of proceeding with the second reading by title, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Okay, so I'll proceed with the reading of the title, bylaw A-09, dangerous or unsightly premises, a bylaw of the local government of Maple Hills relating to dangerous or unsightly premises. And then I have it kind of in two different sections here, but if somebody would like to propose that they accept the first and second reading by title.
Okay, so the third one should say, I move that we proceed to accept the first reading?
Yes.
Is that what it should say? Okay.
Yes, sorry, yep.
Are we, everybody understand what we're gonna do? Because
So
the wording was a
on there
little,
is not right. That's-
Right.
Okay.
okay.
If
So
you
do I,
s-
oh,
If you skip to the vote number 4,
yeah,
Can do we accept the first and second reading?
yes, yep.
Okay, I'll move.
okay. Councillor Savoie,
I move that we adopt the first and second reading by title of bylaw A-09, a bylaw by the local government of Maple Hills relating to dangerous and unsightly premises.
do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Martin. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the first and second readings of the bylaw by title, show your consent by saying yes.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Sorry about that confusion, guys.
That's what copy and paste does that to you sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the grant request. We debated that at the last committee of the whole. Does anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, do I have a mover to proceed with the grant request? Moved by Councillor Martin.
Be it resolved that council approves the following grant as per the grant policy P07 for the amount of $500 to be given through to Jus de l'Acadie, COFJA, DEP 2025.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Oh, you have a question? Oh, okay.
When we talked about these at the last meeting, there were 2 councillors who voted against one of these, and that's why we separated them all. If you recall, I forget which one. Was it the equine assisted learning? Je sais pas si c'était-
This is only for the,
No, no, c'est pas parce que toutes les 4, no, all the 4 grants are there.
so it's the second attachment, but what, it's showing what we awarded?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just the first one on the top.
Sorry, guys, I had asked when we got this one if we could have the information as to what we had awarded already, just so that everybody
Okay.
had an idea where our budget was, so that's why that's included, I'm pretty sure, probably. But the equine one, if you look, it's actually showing that it was awarded at $250,
Yeah, yeah,
which we
okay.
did agree to, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, this motion is just, today is just for the Acadie, Jus d'Acadie. No problem. So do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of awarding the $500 grant to Jus de l'Acadie, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, and now we have, the policy for the building signage. So this item, we realize that we need to have a committee of the whole for debate, but Hannah just wanted to get it in front of us and give us an opportunity to have a quick chat about it. I actually went through it today, and I do have a couple questions, but they're related to language, so it's not really that I disagree with anything. I just had, hang on, since we have time. Maybe I tucked it in here. So one of the items, so this comes up in two different places. It comes up under 3D and 6B, and it refers to a sign permit. I just wanted to know what that was, because we don't,
So if there were to be a sign permit required, if we were putting something close to the road, we would need a sign permit from the Service Commission. So essentially that would mean that if we were permitting somebody to put a sign by the road, that they would be responsible for the fees.
okay. So it's, okay, I knew we didn't have any required permit. Okay. And the other question I had was around 4D. Just because I just thought it was worded oddly, support for opposition to any specific political party. Shouldn't it? To me, support for opposition was a little bit kind of an oxymoron. I don't know.
Okay, so it's, essentially we're talking about something that's prohibited. So it's support for opposition. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's just, I found it, I thought it almost sounded like,
support or.
sure, to support or oppose any political.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I understood it the way I think it was meant, is, let's say you'd have, like, I don't want to use that language here, but during the federal election, there were those signs of Trudeau. I think that's what you mean, right?
No.
The intent of the,
No, to be honest, so I took most of these parts from other places. So I think if we removed if we just put support to any specific political party and take out the for opposition
right, because I
completely.
think support to any specific political party candidate or partisan campaign, that should cover everything without worded that
Yes.
way, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Right, okay, that was just, as I was reading it, it almost sounded like, so you can't campaign against, but you can support, like, that was why I asked. Okay,
Yeah.
other than that, I had no other questions about this policy. Okay, Councillor Martin?
Oh, I guess I am up. Mine just goes under the maintenance and removal when it talks about if the sign itself becomes damaged or whatnot. I'd like to see some wording in there specifically that the CAO can make the decision. It's not loose. We don't wait. The CAO sees it. She can say, this is it. It gets dealt with immediately. And other than that, it does say further up in the policy, it states weather resistant, but I also like to see fade resistant as well.
Do you happen to know what section that is, Councillor Martin?
Which part?
The
Fade
fading?
resistant,
That one is actually under,
or weather resistant, sorry.
yeah, I believe that is under.
I did see in there somewhere about weather.
Yes, it is 1B under outdoor signs. Made from durable, weather-resistant material suitable for the outdoors. And the other one is obviously your maintenance and removal.
Yeah, she got
Just
the
like to
other
make sure that you have full capabilities.
Yeah, if there's, I agree, if there's damages, we don't need to vote if she can tell them they have to fix. Okay, Deputy Mayor Jean Gras.
I think if we're going to have also a policy on signage that we cover more than just the buildings that we have, that we make it you know, sort of like a policy for signage on municipal property, not necessarily just the buildings.
Yeah, it does say that in the first. Right here.
Okay,
Be installed in designated area.
yeah, okay.
If you'd like
Is that-
some more,
Yeah, is that sufficient or?
Well, I'm just saying, like, when I first read this, it's, you know, even the title is building signage property, so, policy, so.
Oh, so maybe the title we
Yeah.
call. Okay, that's fair. Municipal.
property signage.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Okay,
that's all.
thank you. Councillor Savoie?
I forget which one I,
Okay. Anybody, oh, Councillor Martin?
With this eventually being implemented, my only question goes to the real estate signs that are on Maple Hills property, or at the corner. Would those then have to be removed?
it's actually not our area. Those sit within DTI's right away.
Okay. Scotch Settlement, where the flower bed was?
Oh, okay, okay. I was thinking over here, I was gonna say, we don't own that. Okay, no, I get what you're saying. Anybody else? Okay, so this will be on the agenda for the committee of the whole. But yeah, if you wanna make the updates and send it, it could be a very, obviously, we have a couple counselors that might wanna chime in there, but I think for the most part, we're,
Okay, perfect.
probably have what you. Okay, so the next item is unfinished business. Did we have unfinished business?
I don't have anything. Sorry, I'm holding a sneeze. I don't have anything under unfinished business.
Okay, well, we're at a bit of an impasse, because now we're gonna need somebody to move to adjourn. Moved by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. All right, thanks, everybody.